Good evening, Captain Shashank. You are
Good
an
evening, Akash.
Good evening. You're an ex-serviceman, captain of the Indian Army. You have been in Army for 6 years. So, in your own words, could you tell your experience of the Army life?
Sure, Akash. First of all, thanks for having me, and
And it's
it's
my
a
honor,
pleasure.
sir.
No, it's my pleasure to be here and interacting with you, young people. I kind of think now I'm old now,
No,
so
no.
although young at heart always. So yeah, so army. See, army is not a career or anything. So army is like a lifestyle that you live and that
Right.
you pursue. So I was very fortunate to serve the country as an army personnel. And during college itself, I was not sure of, I mean, joining the
Mm.
army or as such, but I had this thing to serve the country. And then later on, I realized what better way to serve the country by other than joining the army then.
Mm.
So that's how I decided to join, and it was great experience. And it was tough initially,
Mm.
obviously, because I did not have any background in doing such physical strenuous activities. And so it was new and tough for me physically. And but I had this aim कि मेरे को अपना pass out करना अपने course के साथ. So
Mm.
I passed out on time from OTA, that is Officers Training Academy, based in
Mm.
Chennai. And then first posting was Kashmir itself. I was commissioned in the Corps of Signals, and कश्मीर में बिताया 3.5 साल. गुड एक्सपीरियंस, गुड एक्सपोजर. जो असली काम आर्मी कर रही है वो तो उधर ही कर रही है,
Mm.
either in Kashmir or the Northeast. So I was fortunate again to serve there. And later on, I got selected as for deputation with the military intelligence. So वहाँ पे I did 2 years, and subsequently I got some health issues developed during this
Mm.
long tenure in high altitude areas and all. So I had to basically move on, because my thing is okay, if you are not able to give 100% at your job, then you shouldn't be there, somebody else, and
Mm.
that too in such important job. If I
Yeah.
cannot lead my men from front, then I shouldn't be there. So that's why
Mm.
I decided to move on. And but it was a great experience. I mean, the qualities and the things that you learn as part of the army training, or as the whatever you do day to day, it keeps you always young at heart and very passionate and disciplined throughout your life. I mean,
Mm.
you can take the man out of army, but you cannot take the army out of the man. So that stays with you. And whatever I do now, whatever
Mm.
task I take up, whatever goals that I have, it really helps. I mean, the training and the curriculum and etc. that you go through, and day-to-day operations
Mm.
that you undertake there, it helps you think very creatively and plan effectively. And
Mm.
whatever resources that you have, minimum resources, whatever you have at your disposal, you kind of learn how to use them optimize in an optimized manner. So that was great, and it is helping me to the date. And I look forward for the future as well, that I'm sure it will help in future as
Mm.
well.
So, sir, in your training, what kind of exercises or tasks were you given to be recruited?
Right. So training is very tough. I
Mm.
mean, I will not mince my word. It is quite tough, and it is not easy for someone to just go there and pass the training, especially in Chennai. So Chennai OTA is the
Mm.
toughest military academy in the world. Not just in India, in the world. It is one of the toughest military academy, because although the training curriculum is same in IMA also and Pune and other places also, but the weather in Chennai is
Mm.
very drastically not suitable for a training, military training.
Mm.
It's so hot and humid. मतलब बंदे को आप खड़ा भी कर दो तो 2-3 घंटे में वो वैसे ही गिर जाएगा पनिशमेंट में.
Mm.
वो धूप इतनी होती है, आप एग्जॉस्ट हो जाते हो. वी यूज टू लिटरली ड्रिंक वाटर आफ्टर एवरी मील विद सॉल्ट. मतलब जैसे आप मेस पहुंचे, खाना खाने से पहले आप पानी में सॉल्ट डालते हो 1 चम्मच, उसको घोल के उसको पीते
Mm.
हो. एंड ऑल योर ड्रेसेस जो ऑलिव ग्रीन और ये सब होती है पूरी पूरी वाइट हो जाती है. क्यों? बिकॉज यू स्वेट सो मच, पूरा आपका बॉडी का सॉल्ट निकल जाता है. So that's why it is kind of tough. And ऊपर से फिर then you are doing a military training, not just passing time, right? So everything is, and then there are exercises designed to break you up mentally. मतलब if you are not mentally strong, physically I would not say that it is not that much, but if you are mentally not strong, then it is very difficult to pass the academy. Mentally you have to prepare yourself, because जब हम पहले पहुंचे तो ये बातें होती थी कि भाई कैंप होता है, उसके बाद रन बैक होगा, 40 किलोमीटर दौड़ना होगा विद 25 kg ऑफ योर लोड एंड आई थिंक 4 kg ऑफ दैट राइफल. तो यू कांट रियली इमेजिन एज अ सिविलियन कि मैं 40 किलोमीटर दौड़ूंगा ये सब लेके. towards the end, जब वो कैंप होता है तो then you realize no, it's a real thing, you have to do it, and if you don't do it then you can't pass out on time. या नॉर्मल कॉलेज में जैसे होता है कि if you don't pass your subjects on time then you get मतलब you stay back और वो year back. भी ऐसा है, you don't pass junior term again, आपके जो साथ वाले हैं वो पास आउट होके चले जाएंगे, you are still in the academy doing repeating the term. So that is there. तो वो के साथ ही होना है. So I kind of decided on that, and whatever challenge, ultimately I was able to pass out all the tests.
Yes, sir, you were saying.
So what I was saying is कि it is really tough mentally as well. मतलब mentally I would say it is more than physically. मतलब रन बैक वगैरह जो होते हैं, आप पहले पहुंचते हो एकेडमी में, देन यू थिंक कि नहीं 40 किलोमीटर कहाँ मतलब वापस दौड़ना होगा, इतना 25 kg ऑफ देयर लोड एंड 4.5 kg ऑफ दैट राइफल एंड एवरीथिंग. बट टुवर्ड्स द एंड ऑफ द ट्रेनिंग यू रियलाइज कि इट इज एक्चुअली गोइंग टू हैपन, और ऐसा होगा, मतलब हमें दौड़ना है, एंड इफ यू डोंट पास इट तो यू विल बी रेलिगेटेड. मतलब आपके कोर्समेट पास आउट होके चले जाएंगे एंड यू विल हैव टू रिपीट दैट इंटायर करिकुलम अगेन विद योर जूनियर्स. तो वो थोड़ा सा बड़ा टफ हो जाता है. एंड देन तो माय एम वाज कि आई हैड टू पास आउट विद माय कोर्समेट्स कम व्हाट मे, एंड with that goal in mind I did the training whatever and was able to successfully do it, even help my friends to it. तो वो थोड़ा सा then you understand कि नहीं, फिजिकली लिमिट जो है वो हमने मेंटली अपने दिमाग में बनाई हुई है. आवर ह्यूमन बॉडी सो इवन कैपेबल ऑफ डूइंग सो मच कि अब जो अगर आप उसको अगर करने की कोशिश करते हो तो देन यू कैन अचीव अ लॉट ऑफ वंडर्स, and that is you only realize once you do it. अदरवाइज वो मेंटल बैरियर आपके दिमाग में रहता है कि यार ये कैसे होगा, ये बड़ा मुश्किल लगता है, ऐसा नहीं होगा. बट वंस यू डू इट देन इट इज लाइक यस दिस कैन बी डन. सो आई वुड से अगर इफ यू फेस एनी प्रॉब्लम, एक बार उसको करने की देर है, देन इट विल नॉट सीम लाइक अ प्रॉब्लम एनीमोर.
सो सर, जब आप 40 केजी उठा के 40 किलोमीटर भाग रहे थे 20 केजी उठा के, तो सर व्हाट केप्ट यू गोइंग? एंड इवन इन कॉम्बैट सिचुएशन आई एम श्योर वो भी बहुत स्ट्रेसफुल हुआ होगा. तो व्हाट केप्ट यू गोइंग ड्यूरिंग दैट टाइम?
सो व्हाट आवर सीनियर्स यूज्ड टू से कि कभी सोचना नहीं है ज्यादा, बस you just have to keep one leg in front of the other, just keep moving, keep moving. And that is what I realized is this power of small steps. Just keep on taking small steps in the right direction and you will be able to achieve that goal. So dimag mein, because ultimately kya hota hai when you're doing this all these long marathons and runs and triathlon and all that, after a point your mind stops working. You are going like a मतलब you're walking or maybe jogging like a zombie कि बस चले जा रहे हैं, कुछ इतना सोचना नहीं है, because your mind becomes numb. and वही होता है. and even in I would say combat operations वगैरह में it's your training what kicks in, your reflexes कि आपने पहले जितनी ट्रेनिंग करी होगी, whatever training hard work that you put in, वो उस टाइम पे आपका निकल के आता है. बिकॉज उस टाइम आपको सोचने का वक्त नहीं, यू डोंट गेट दैट मच टाइम टू थिंक कि आई वुड डू दिस एंड देन. वो आपकी जो ट्रेनिंग आपने बैकग्राउंड में पहले करी है दैट किक्स इन एट दैट पॉइंट इन टाइम. सो वही इन द एकेडमी आल्सो, मतलब यू हैव बीन ट्रेनिंग ऑल दिस व्हाइल, टुवर्ड्स द एंड दिस थिंग हैज कम अप. Now at that point in time you become mentally so strong that this goal doesn't feel like, and it is a team event, right? So in between there are checkpoints. So
Mm.
whole team, the company which you are part of has to close in first, then only you can move ahead,
Mm.
right? So बीच में checkpoints भी हैं. So ऐसा नहीं कि बस it's an individual sports. So you
Mm.
have to bring your course mates also, and you have to pull and help others who are facing some issues. Maybe you take their load. तो दो बंदे एक का लोड उठा लेते हैं and ऐसा. So that brings out all the teamwork that goes in, that you learn. And same in kind of operations that go in. You have your buddy with you and you look after each other, right? And operations में भी कि मुझे उधर का नहीं देखने की जरूरत, because my buddy is there, right? I have to see in what is front of me. So all these things come only when you train hard. So you whatever you training that you undergo, that
Mm.
helps you keep on going ahead,
I think that is
right?
true in every field, right?
Right, absolutely. I mean, the more you sweat in peace, the less you bleed in war. It's true
Yeah.
for the army as well as for any career, any profession, any passion that you have. Whatever
Mm.
preparations that you do behind the scene, that will help you ultimately perform at a great level.
Mm. What was your psychological state during a combat experience, or when it was really
See,
stressful? Yeah.
I'll tell you one story. So what happened when you're posted in such locations? My posting was in Kupwara, Kashmir, which is extremely closer to the LOC. So
Mm.
वो जो area है, that's उसके आगे फिर LOC, then there is POK, Pakistan
Mm.
occupied Kashmir. So when you reach there as a civilian first, मतलब पहले just new officer, young officer reaching there, you realize कि because उससे पहले तो you just have seen in academy वो news में कि वहाँ कश्मीर में ऐसा होता है वैसा होता है.
Mm.
But once you land there, then you feel कि नहीं, मतलब ठीक है, मतलब इतना भी बुरा नहीं है.
Mm.
But some days are like that you realize no, the situation is not that easy to go with also.
Mm.
So what happens is कि जैसे हम यूनिट में रहते हैं, तो
Mm.
यूनिट में थोड़ा सा चिल हो जाते हैं because everything is well secured and everything, perimeters पे guards हैं and all that. You are doing your daily stuff because as an officer you have to do a lot of documentation, administration, quartermaster and logistics and all those stuff also.
Mm.
It's not just like everybody is going to patrol and doing, because there are a lot of manpower involved, right? One
Mm.
unit has around 800 soldiers. So unka management, what things and their logistics, food, Adam, discipline, training, everything has to be looked after by the officers who are present there, right? So वो भी आप करते हो, तो थोड़ा चिल हो
Mm.
जाते हो कि अभी ठीक है हम यहाँ हैं. तो वो हमारे यूनिट में बड़ा अच्छा सा एक बड़ा बिग गेट जो आपने देखे होंगे कैंट वगैरह में होते हैं, तो
Mm.
दैट गेट के ऊपर बड़ा सा लिखा हुआ रहता था कि सावधान आज मुकाबला होगा, बड़ा बड़ा सा लिखा हुआ है. सो व्हाट हैपेंस इज कि जब भी आप बाहर जाते हो तो वो आप मिस नहीं कर सकते, वो बहुत बड़ा बड़ा लिखा हुआ. तो एकदम से आपका स्टेट ऑफ माइंड चेंज हो जाता है कि आई एम गोइंग आउट एंड आई एम नॉट इन सेफ इन्वायरमेंट और वो, एंड
Mm.
वी देन यू रियलाइज कि अच्छा मैं कश्मीर में या कुपवाड़ा या इस तरह की जगह पे हूँ. And your mental states change, your body becomes alert, your mind becomes alert, you check your rifle and everything, your BPJ and everything कि हाँ सही है, because उससे पहले तो आप यूनिट में अंदर आप थोड़ा
Mm.
होमली एनवायरमेंट है, मेस में खाना खा रहे हो whatever, and you are playing sports, you are doing PT and everything, so
Mm.
you become part of that. But maybe after 10-14 days you are going out, तो अचानक से you realize कि oh no, but that one statement makes you so alert. So दिस इज द पावर ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन, आई वुड से कि मतलब एक छोटा सा स्टेटमेंट इतना अच्छा लिखा हुआ है वहां और इतना बड़ा बड़ा लिखा हुआ है, यू कांट मिस दैट, बिकॉज वेदर यू आर इन अ जिप्सी और यू आर इन अ ढाईटन और ट्रक और व्हाटएवर, तो वो आपको सामने ही दिख जाएगा, एंड दैट puts you in that state of alert, and the psychology behind you मतलब वो
Mm.
चेंज हो जाती है एकदम से कि या
Mm.
so whatever, when I always I remember that कि जब भी मैं बाहर जाता था तो my state of alertness was only because of that statement. And
Mm.
once you are in state of alertness, then again your whatever you have practiced, the drills that you practice daily, and the operations effectiveness, or whatever you have learned in your training, that kicks in. So it was like that. I mean, fortunately, मैं पूरा सही सलामत 3.5 साल बिताने के बाद भी I am here. A lot of my course mates and my seniors have unfortunately been injured or lost their lives as well. So that's part of life, and that's the sacrifice you have to make. We have to make. So you have to make peace with it.
When a serviceman gets injured or tragically loses their life, what compensation do they get from the government?
So there are, they are well looked after. I would say. I mean, although nothing can replace the person who he was, right? Who he or she maybe was, but the family is looked after, I would say, and we have insurance for that. We only pay from our salaries. So Indian Army is the only army which officers and Jawan pay for his or her own insurance. So the rest of the world, no, the government takes care of it, but we pay for it. But that's fine. So the insurance element is there. Then there are compensation from center, state, and we have grant for within the army. There are various grants to look after for the family, and then the spouse of the deceased also get some benefits, and then the children also get some benefits like scholarship and everything. So you are well looked after, but at the end of the day, nothing can replace the person who he was, right? So yeah, that's there. Also, they have now come up, they have also come up with the scheme, like there's a scheme called Veer Nari. So in that, if let's say the husband who was serving in the army loses his life, then the widow, the spouse of that person, is given a chance to undergo SSB training and all that. If she qualifies, then she is also given commission in the armed forces after proper training, not just के बस हो गया तो आपको मिल जाएगा. That's not the case, but yes, they are given a good chance, and if they are deserving, they are also commissioned as officers in the army. So there have been many ladies who have become officers in this Veer Nari scheme.
So, sir, when you were about to join the army, were you mentally prepared that anything could happen?
See, mentally prepared, though, I don't know if I was, because once you land up in the academy, the next day they give you a form, right? That is a will. And you realize कि अभी मैं इतना 20-22 साल का, and I'm writing my will. It hits you then, right? And you have to choose whatever the resources, financial resources, whatever you have, how much you want to give to your parents, if you are married. I don't think anybody is married, but some people are, those who come up from different entry, then they have to choose 50% to father, 50%. Then it hits you. Oh, so I'm writing my will. Otherwise, who thinks at a young age to write his own will? For that matter, people in old ages don't like to make their will, but the moment you land up in the academy, next day you do some documentation, and therein that document comes up ki aapki will hai. And that will is given once you are, if you are not able to make it, or if you lose your life, then that will comes into effect. Whatever the resources that you thought should be given to your parents or maybe siblings or whatever. So that is where it hits you. Okay, so it is not just in like in movies, it's real. You can lose your life also. But I kind of made it my peace with it. See, ultimately, once you join and you are posted in such place, Kashmir and all, you have to make your peace with it, that this is a possibility and this is a good probability that it could happen any of the day. But then again, you can lose your life in an accident also, right? But ultimately, my thinking was ki even if I go down, at least I will be going down for something special, like serving my country. Not just like कि मैं गाड़ी तेज चलाई और accident हो गया and all that. So that was there in my heart. But it is very difficult to convince your family So from my family, there has never been a person who has joined the army or defense. मतलब दूर दूर तक कोई नहीं था. I was the first one. And then father was okay, but mother, my mom is my quite emotional, like all Indian mothers are. So unko, but I kind of convinced her कि नहीं, I'm technical person here, and I just look into the computers and I tell the other people that यहाँ पे terrorist है, वहाँ जाके मारो and all that, which is not exactly true, but this was a statement that I gave her so that she made her peace with it. And कोई दूसरे लोग भी पूछते थे उनको, तो वो खुशी खुशी बता देती कि नहीं नहीं, वो ऐसे नहीं, वो बस कंप्यूटर पे देख के बताता है कि टेररिस्ट कहाँ पे है, तो वो सेफ है. And that kept her, I mean, kind of peaceful at night and all that. So it's difficult for family, I would say, more than the individual, because army training makes you tough and all that. But for the family who is not undergone all those trainings and stuff, it is difficult for them. And I think with time they also make peace with it. बाद में वो हो जाते हैं, ठीक है. And पहले तो बड़ा मुश्किल था. There were no communication, and वो भी आपको मतलब even when I was there in Kashmir, तो in some posts there was no communication, no mobile and everything. आपको कभी लाइन ठीक है तो लग गई कॉल, पीसीओ, पहले पीसीओ कॉल, वहां से यूनिट में कॉल करो, यूनिट वाला पीसीओ कॉल लगाएगा, पीसीओ वाला फिर आगे कॉल लगाएगा एंड ऑल. तो इन बिटवीन कहीं पे भी लाइन गड़बड़ होती तो बात भी नहीं हो पाती. नाउ कम्युनिकेशन हैज इंक्रीज्ड, व्हाट्सएप वगैरह भी है, चल जाता है मोस्ट ऑफ द प्लेसेस. तो इट्स फाइन. आई मीन दैट्स द सैक्रिफाइस यू पे, राइट? सो या.
So, after retirement, the transition you made to civilian life, what was the stark contrast between the army life and the civilian life you faced?
So it is quite different. I mean, army, again, like I said, it is not a career, it's a lifestyle that you live. And there are no shifts or anything. Like, it is a 24/7 job. And even your leaves are not your right. There are a privilege that are given to you कि भाई leave पे जा सकते हैं. It's not a right कि you can say कि मेरे को इतनी छुट्टी authorize है, तो ऐसा. It's a privilege that you get. And but once you come to the again the corporate side or civil side, then you realize things are quite different. If you join a private organization or private company, then it is profit oriented. And back in army or in the any government organization, I would say that there's no profit or all that stuff. But in civil, everything is profit oriented or bottom line driven. And then there are some perks to it also, like you are weekend off, nobody can disturb you on weekends, and once you are off, you're off, like 9 to 5 and all that. So it took some time to get accustomed, because when I started working with Blackstone in private equity, I landed up on the office on Saturday as well. मतलब मैंने उतना ध्यान नहीं दिया because I was in the under the impression फिर वहाँ ऑफिस बंद था. Then I called up the HR की ऑफिस तो बंद है, क्या चक्कर है, कोई आया भी नहीं and all that. तो बोले अरे भाई वीकेंड पे सब बंद रहता है and all that. So that was. So now I'm used to it कि ठीक है, weekend are meant for enjoying and all. And but yeah, it's tough to come out, because in army you are in certain environment, and say your motives and training that you do is different. In corporate, the things required are different, although everything in corporate can be easily transferable. Like if you see all these terms like strategy, tactics, all these are military terms, and these are utilized in corporate. Team management, team leading, leadership, all those qualities, soft qualities which the corporates are looking for, are easily available in each of the army personnel, and or for that matter any defense personnel. So these things naturally came to me. What did not came to me are the hard things, like hard skills, like some. It took some time to get used to all those things, like using Excel and all that. But वो ज्यादा टाइम लगता नहीं है. वो आप थोड़ा सा पुट इन करो, थोड़ा मेहनत करो शुरुआत में, तो I think it's quite easy. The hard things are like the skills, the soft skills, which are not that easy to develop if you have started your career as a corporate or a civilian. Leadership, बिकॉज आप देखो कॉर्पोरेट में लीडरशिप रोल में आपको आने में कम से कम 10-15 साल लग जाते हैं, राइट? देन यू बिकम अ मैनेजर और स्टफ. बट इन द आर्मी, just after your training, you become a leader, right? You become a platoon commander or a company commander, or you have around 100 men who look up to you, and you have to lead by example. आर्मी में लोग सोचते हैं कि बस जाए और सब सैल्यूट मारने लग जाए, ऐसा नहीं होता. आप जब वहां पहुंचते हो यूनिट में, आपको इज्जत अपनी खुद कमानी पड़ती है. आपको अब जो लीडरशिप है खुद दिखा के कमानी पड़ती है कि साहब आया है, साहब में कुछ दम है, तभी तो यहाँ पे आया है. और वो दम वो आपको दिखाना है. व्हेन यू लीड बाय एग्जांपल, देन ओनली पीपल ट्रस्ट यू, रेस्पेक्ट यू. वो रेस्पेक्ट कम्स फ्रॉम विद इन. इट्स नॉट जस्ट कि आपका रैंक है तो आपको सैल्यूट कर रहे हैं लोग. मे बी वो सामने सैल्यूट करेंगे, पीछे आपको नहीं उतना रेस्पेक्ट देंगे. बट जो असली रेस्पेक्ट है वो आपका काम देख के आती है. तो दैट वी लर्न एट अ वेरी यंग एज आर्मी में. वो चीज आप बहुत काम आती है कॉर्पोरेट में, बिकॉज आप वहां पे लीडरशिप लैडर में बहुत जल्दी जल्दी आप यू, बिकॉज यू नो कि भाई आप लीड बाय एग्जांपल करोगे, देन पीपल विल सी, योर टीम विल लुक अप टू यू, दे विल कम टू यू फॉर सॉल्यूशंस एंड ऑल दैट. तो दैट काइंड ऑफ हेल्प. बट बाकी ठीक है, ट्रांजिशन जब आर्मी ट्रेनिंग, जब मेरे कोर्समेट्स वगैरह का भी कॉल आता है, दोज हु आर इन अबाउट टू कम टू सिविलियन लाइफ, तो मैं उनको ही बोलता हूँ कि यार तुम, हमने आर्मी ट्रेनिंग में इतना मेहनत किया हुआ है, ये तो कुछ भी नहीं है. मतलब
कुछ
उसके
भी नहीं
सामने
है,
एक बार आ जाओ.
बिल्कुल.
शुरू में थोड़ा अप्रीहेंशन रहता है, बट वो थोड़ा सा रहता ही है. मतलब नई जगह नए लोग वो रहते हैं, तो ठीक है. मतलब अडेप्ट बहुत जल्दी कर जाते हैं हम लोग.
सर बहुत लोग जो कॉम्बैट देखते हैं उनको पीटीएसडी भी होता है, तो
राइट.
आपकी क्या राय है उसमें?
See, PTSD, post traumatic stress disorder, is a real thing. It's not just कि movies में या American thing है, because they kind of highlight it.
Yes.
But it is real for us also. We are also human, right? And it is a very real thing. I mean, and अभी इसके ऊपर काफी there has been a limelight given to mental health and PTSD and all that stuff. Earlier it was not. Earlier it was considered like a taboo ki just be a man or whatever.
Yeah.
But people have realized that it is a real thing. So you see such things there in operations or otherwise. You go through such strenuous tenure, long tenure. आप मतलब 6-7 महीने तक एक पोस्ट पे ही हो, बिकॉज बर्फ गिर गई, आप जा ही नहीं सकते, राइट? और आप बस 4 लोग वही देख रहे हो सुबह से शाम तक, वही सूखा रूखा खाना खा रहे हो, वही बर्फ में, वही रूटीन पूरे दिन. मतलब वहां पे आप रह के, तो ऑल दिस स्ट्रेस काइंड ऑफ गेट्स टू यू at some point in time, no matter how mentally strong you are. And that is a real thing, and people have to realize that. And I think people are also realizing it, and things are changing on ground. And in fact, our doctors within the army are also propagating this fact that PTSD is a real, and we must first of all acknowledge it, and then only you can take care or treat it, right? So wo acknowledgement factor was missing earlier, but now things are changing on ground, and we have proper treatment procedures, and basically making you feel comfortable. And once you are out, then the doctors can help you, and also you can get proper care and the acknowledgement ki yes, it is a real thing, and it is as harmful as any other hypertension or diabetes and all those diseases. It is much more, I would say, harmful than, because if you're not mentally at peace, then nothing seems to be working for you in life. And that depression and all those loosely used term by other people, it is very difficult. I mean, it hits you and brings you in a such low phase of your life, and it seems like कि बाहर जाने का कोई रास्ता ही नहीं है, जैसे दलदल में फंस गए हैं, जितना हाथ पैर भी मारे तो अंदर ही जा रहे हैं. That it is kind of that. And to acknowledge that, and then get some support from your peers or from your community and army community, or the civilians that you are interacting with daily. तो वो मैटर करता है. एंड ऑल्सो मेरा हमेशा एक मैसेज जरूर रहता है, इफ यू आर ए सिविलियन एंड यू whenever you meet an army personnel or a defense personnel, just thank them for their service. I would say, if you just don't give them seats, don't give them any other privilege, just thank them for their service. That is what they live for, right? They are protecting you and staying up in at borders and all those hell places. So just thank them. Whenever you meet a service personnel, just thank them for their service. That is it. They don't want any other privilege. They get enough money and everything to live a very respectful life even after retirement. So they are not looking for any other privileges कि आप उनको रेलवे में सीट दे दो या इस टाइप की कोई छोटी मोटी चीजें. Just thank them for their service, and I think they will be the most proudest and glad people after listening that, right?
So, army has obviously teaches you a lot of discipline, which is lacking in today's youth. So, sir, can you give any tips for them to cultivate self-discipline and how important it is?
Sure. See, discipline, according to me, is something that keeps you going on the lowest of lows days. कि वो बोरिंग से बोरिंग काम जो आपको पता है कि बहुत जरूरी है करना, but it is so boring that you don't want to do it, or maybe you are not up for it. But discipline is that factor, that feeling that keeps you going on the lowest of lows of your days. I would say, it is anything which is critical to any attaining any successfully any goal that you set for yourself. Discipline is the key element of it. Discipline and persistence is what can get you any goal that you set for yourself. तो उसके लिए सिंपल मैं अपने पॉडकास्ट वगैरह पे भी बोलता हूँ कि just set small targets for each day. It doesn't matter what your end goal is, however big it may be. If you want to earn 1 करोड़ कमाना है लाइफ में, तो उसके टारगेट बना लो छोटे छोटे. If you want to get 6-pack abs, तो उसका भी छोटे छोटे टारगेट बना लो. And daily put in small effort towards it. Right? If you want to, let's say, if you want to stay healthy, just do 15 to 20 minutes of exercise daily. Just 15 to 20 minutes, right? And वो 15 to 20 minutes पूरे साल अगर आप करते हो, तो when you start your year and the end of the year, you will see drastic difference. You will be in I would say top 1% of the fittest people on the planet Earth. अगर आप सिर्फ 15 minutes but daily देना. Same goes for any other goals, that कि भाई मेरे को अगर इतना पैसा कमाना है या फिर मेरे को इस पोजीशन पे I want to reach, just put in efforts towards it daily with consistency. And ये फिर अपने आप डिसिप्लिन, ये नहीं होता, क्योंकि डिसिप्लिन का मतलब ये नहीं होता लोग आके पूछते हैं कि कोई ऐसा बता दो, ऐसी कोई दवाई तो है नहीं कि ये दवाई ले और हो गया डिसिप्लिन कल,
वरना तो सभी होते.
हाँ, वरना मैं कल से सोचूं कि मैं आई वांट टू बिकम डिसिप्लिन एंड कल से मैं डिसिप्लिन हो जाऊंगा. नो, इट डजंट वर्क लाइक दैट. यू हैव टू ट्रिक योर माइंड, और यू हैव टू प्लान इन सच अ वे कि यू ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम यू yourself become disciplined. Because एक हैबिट जो आपकी बन जाती है, if you do it for a long enough time, तो वो फिर अपने आप, जैसे अब मेरे को my habit is कि इवनिंग में मेरे को एक्सरसाइज करनी है, and if I don't do it, then मेरी बॉडी रेस्टलेस हो जाती है, mind will not be at peace until and unless I go out and sweat. तो वो मजा नहीं आता लाइफ में फिर, तो वो डिसिप्लिन अपने आप फिर डेवलप हो जाता है. And there are ways to trick to it. मतलब if you are taking example of exercise only, so just make a pact with yourself कि जैसे मैं पॉडकास्ट अगर आपको कोई पसंद है, you will listen to that podcast only when you are exercising. If you make such contact with yourself, like if you like some song, so you make a pact with yourself कि I will listen to this song only when I'm exercising. So वो फिर एक रिवॉर्ड और उसका भी वो रहेगा कि भाई ये मैं जब कर रहा हूं तो मैं एक्सरसाइज करूंगा, अदरवाइज नहीं करूंगा. एंड यू हैव टू बी ट्रू विद योरसेल्फ कि भाई ट्रू, इफ यू आर नॉट ट्रू विद योरसेल्फ देन हु आर यू ट्रू विद. मतलब It is with you and you have set this goal for you. So that goes hand in hand. Other ways are like you can gamify your process के जैसे बचपन में अपन गेम खेलते थे मारियो और ये सब, तो यू गेट सम एक्स्ट्रा लाइफ, राइट? एक बार मर गया तो ऐसा नहीं कि गेम ओवर, यू गेट वन लाइफ. सो यू थिंक इट लाइक कि वन डे आई कैन मिस, बट द नेक्स्ट डे आई विल नेवर मिस, अदरवाइज गेम ओवर. मतलब एक लाइफ है मेरे पास, तो व्हाट विल हैपन इज यू विल नेवर मिस कॉन्सिक्वेंटली 2 days. 2 दिन किया फिर मिस किया चलेगा, पर अगले दिन मिस नहीं कर सकते, लगातार 2 दिन मिस नहीं करना. तो इट विल कीप यू गोइंग फॉर अ लॉन्ग टर्म. क्योंकि लेट्स बी ऑनेस्ट, मतलब देयर विल बी डेज व्हेन यू विल बी एंगेज्ड इन सम अदर एक्टिविटीज, यू विल बी आउटसाइड और व्हाटएवर, बट एक दिन मिस कर सकते हो, दूसरे दिन मिस नहीं करना है. तो इससे क्या होगा कि यू विल नेवर लूज योर स्ट्रीक. So this is kind of happening with apps and all, and same thing you can apply in your life also, right? So इससे आता है वो सेल्फ डिसिप्लिन. बस ये सोचने से नहीं कि मैं मेरी बात सुन लेंगे. मोटिवेशनल और ये सब, I don't think this works, right? If you go and listen to any motivational video, it is just like any other drug. It will give you a temporary high.
Yeah.
कि बस आज जाके तोड़ दूंगा, आज ये जिम में बस 1 घंटा और खत्म. But you want something which is long term, sustainable.
Consistent.
These are the things which keep you consistent. और वहीं से आता है फिर discipline. आप if you do all these activities for long enough time, you yourself will itch for it. कि भाई आज मुझे ये करना ही है. फिर your body आपकी वो. And if you do it consistently, I don't think there is any goal which our youth especially cannot achieve. Any goal that you can set for yourself. No, doesn't matter how big or it seems impossible hai. But I would say it is anything and everything is possible. It is your mental and the excuses that you give yourself. जैसे मेरे को अगर सुबह नहीं जाना तो मैं सोचूंगा अरे नहीं यार कल अभी रात को मैं लेट सोया हूँ, जैसे तो आप अपने आप को एक्सक्यूज देते हो, राइट? यू कि नहीं अगर मैं नहीं वहां नहीं जाना क्योंकि आज जिम बंद होगा, मतलब आपने पहले से ही डिसाइड कर लिया क्योंकि वो आज बंद होगा या व्हाटएवर. ये अपने आप को एक्सक्यूज नहीं देना है. अपने आप को आप जब व्हेन यू स्टार्ट गिविंग एक्सक्यूजेस टू योरसेल्फ, दैट मींस के नहीं कहीं कमी रह गई है फिर. सो ये these are some tricks which I always tell people कि if you do these things, then discipline will automatically come to you. You don't have to go towards discipline. Discipline will come to you, right? Yeah.
Sir, can you talk a little of your podcast, why you started it, what you do in it?
Sure. Yeah, so that is very dear to me. Actually, I started last year. Same thing, right? People used to come to me and ask about life advice and all that, discipline and health and everything. So I thought, why not leverage technology and all these mediums that are available? Because it kinds of it takes my time also. Otherwise, if you speak to someone on phone or otherwise, so why not put it on a medium like YouTube or Spotify, where anybody in anywhere in the world at any point in time can listen to it. So that is why I started that. I mostly talk about health, wealth, and happiness. And it's available on all, YouTube, Ghana, Spotify, and others. And I try to be consistent again, like other things in my life. I kind of put one short episode on Wednesday and one long one on Sunday morning. So this is how I've been doing it. Let's see in future how it goes. But yeah, and also I try and bring people from different aspects of life, like yourself. I saw your good podcast with others, and you have a long list of people. I kind of wonder how I came here, but yeah. So I also kind of bring all those people, interesting people, and learn from them, right? And my funda always is to just be always a lifelong learner and always be ready to learn, unlearn, and relearn. So whatever you learn, just try and be very pragmatic about it. Ki this may be right or not wrong, but don't be just rigid on that. कि ये मैंने सीख लिया तो यही सही है. नहीं. Just be pragmatic about it. Be adaptable. things change in this world like ऐसे रातों रात कुछ बदल जाता है, टेक्नोलॉजी चेंज हो जाती है. Who would have thought कि कोविड आ जाएगा एंड 2 साल आप बंद रहोगे इस टाइप से एंड ऑल दैट. सो जस्ट बी अ लाइफ लॉन्ग लर्नर, बी क्यूरियस अबाउट थिंग्स कि ये कैसे हो रहा है, क्यों हो रहा है. अल्टीमेटली ऑल दीज things will help you achieve your goals.
So
Right.
what you
Yeah.
said
So
was brilliant. The unlearn thing. 50,
yeah.
100 years ago, sati was legal. So
Yeah.
if people
Again.
were, yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah. Can we now shift to politics?
Sure. Sure.
The thing that is happening between Russia and Crimea.
Ukraine.
Yeah, Ukraine. Sorry, Ukraine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, see, war is bad.
Hmm.
It is not only bad for the people who are fighting it, it's also bad for the citizen of the country, no matter
Of course.
how strong you are, right? And it is the people, all the soldiers, ultimately who pay the price of the war with their life. But again, you have to see the fact why they are doing it, right? You can't just be saying कि war नहीं करनी चाहिए and मत करो. But you have to go deeper, and I also did some analysis about that. You can't just say कि भाई रशिया गलत है या यूक्रेन गलत है. अपनी जगह दोनों का पॉलिटिकल और अदरवाइज मोटिव जरूर है. यूक्रेन wants to become part of NATO,
Hmm.
and Russia will not let that happen.
Hmm.
It has time and again kept on saying कि if you do this, then there will be terrible consequences, and those consequences are shaping place at this. I think it is more than 1 month of that tragic war that is going on. But we can't say कि नहीं रशिया गलत है, why it is doing it. They have their own reasons, right? If with Ukraine any day becomes part of NATO, then all the Western alliances will be just on the throat of Russia. वहां पे अपने सेटअप कर देंगे, and then it will be trouble for Russia. So they are looking after their incentives, their interest, right? So, but Ukraine also is, I mean, it is very surprising the fight that it has put up.
Yes.
Also, the leadership quality of the President Zelensky is commendable. It doesn't matter which side you support, or it doesn't matter who is right, who is wrong. But that person against such big enemy, wherein if you see other countries like Afghanistan or other places, the leader fled away. And Zelensky, President Zelensky has been offered multiple times by the US and other countries to give him safe passage and all that. But he has refused, and he's fighting on ground with his troops. So that is leadership, and that is commendable, right?
Yes.
We
But,
hope.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm saying कि war in today's time, where there is an imminent threat that someone can launch a nuclear weapon, that changes the game.
Yeah, but see, I don't think nuclear. We are anywhere near to any nuclear. If you stop watching all these news channels and everything, you will realize nuclear. If you nobody wants to use nuclear weapon,
Nobody.
because that is the end. It is not just the end for the other one. It will be total devastation, destruction of the whole world. So, incidentally, nuclear weapons have made the world a safer place because nobody wants to use them. The fact that they are present with the other countries, it has made the world a safer place because nobody wants to press that nuclear button.
Yes.
So that fear of should be present, because otherwise all these countries will keep on invading and all that, and no, there will be no fear. At least Russia itself is of the opinion कि कल को अगर मैं यूज करता हूं तो मेरा भी नक्शे पे वो बचेगा नहीं. तो ठीक है मतलब, और if you stop watching the news channel, you will be very peaceful. There is no imminent threat of nuclear destruction or war. In fact, nuclear weapons have made the world a safer place for now. We can't know, we can't predict the future or anything,
Yeah.
but yes, it is
But can
not going to
we
happen
be
anytime soon.
on the verge of World War III? Can you see this happening?
See, it's very difficult for all countries is at this point in time when each and other countries logistics and the whole world is globalized, right?
Hmm.
Every other country is doing so much trade with the other country. You take the
Hmm.
example of China, India,
Hmm.
China, US. No, it doesn't matter what they say on these fronts, political and war fronts. But ultimately, at the end of the day, even Europe is so much 35 to 40% of the natural gas and petroleum and all that comes from Russia. That
Yes.
is why they can't replace it with any other country,
Yeah.
right? So तो वो वॉर वर्ल्ड वॉर में कन्वर्ट होने का आई डोंट थिंक इट इज वी आर ऑन दैट वर्ज एज ऑफ
Hmm.
नाउ, but you can't know for sure also. I mean, ultimately they are all humans, the leaders who are
Hmm.
there, and we can't know their mind, what Putin is thinking, what Zelensky and
Hmm.
what the others leaders are thinking. We can't know for sure, but unlikely, because every other country is dependent on another. You can call them enemy, but ultimately you are doing business with them. You
Right.
are reliant on them for natural gases, for your energy needs and everything. So that I don't think that factor is going to play out anytime soon.
Yeah. After Modi's move of the Citizenship Amendment Act and then reoccupation, taking back Kashmir. So, what is Pakistan's policy now?
See, Pakistan was caught by surprise
Everyone was.
when in fact, I would say
Yeah.
not just Pakistan, we as
Yeah.
men in uniform and everything, we were also surprised, because I never thought in my lifetime I would see a day that this article, which prevents us from
Hmm.
basically taking land and all that things from in Kashmir, will be removed
Hmm.
in my lifetime.
Hmm.
Because when I used to ask my seniors and all that, because see, ultimately we are just young officers of the army and we can just speculate, but the real game or the policy level thinking is done at the high level, like our generals and then politicians and all that. So we can just speculate otherwise. But when I used to get a chance, I also served as
Hmm.
an ADC too. So basically ADC is kind of executive assistant for the general who is there in division. So I served with him. So I had good interactions with him. I used to interact with
Hmm.
him a lot, the major general there. And I used to ask him कि ये हटा क्यों नहीं देते इसको यहाँ से, तो he used to give me very valid answers कि see, army has developed so much resources there. There are so much manpower deployed here. Where they will go if they
Hmm.
remove this, right? And then other things also, like the local population is not going to accept it at that point in time जब मैं वहां
Yeah.
पे था. But अपने prime minister has proven
Hmm.
every other people wrong, because and the way it has been done is very commendable. I mean, no violence, nothing, पूरा total shutdown for some
हाँ.
time, and now things are back to normal. इंटरनेट भी चल रहा है,
Yes.
सब कुछ हो रहा है, स्कूल्स चल रहे हैं, एंड दैट इज द मतलब मास्टर स्ट्रोक. बिकॉज उससे क्या होता है कि वंस द इकोनॉमी स्टार्ट्स इम्प्रूविंग,
Hmm.
पीपल विल स्टार्ट रियलाइजिंग कि अपने को यहाँ पढ़ाना है, बच्चों को अच्छा हेल्थ केयर देना है, अच्छी शिक्षा देनी है, अच्छा रोजगार मिलना चाहिए. तो ये सारी
Hmm.
चीजें जब होने लगी, तो व्हाई दे विल गो टुवर्ड्स अ कंट्री विच इन शैम्बल्स इटसेल्फ. मतलब आप उनकी इकोनॉमी देखो, हर जगह से लोन मांगते रहते हैं, और ये वो खुद की कंट्री संभाल नहीं पा रहे, और इधर दैट इज व्हाई दे डोंट फाइट अ फुल फ्लेज वॉर. दे डू
Hmm.
काउंटर इंसर्जेंसी टाइप्स ऑपरेशन, जो हमारे यहाँ मिसगाइडेड यूथ को रिलीजन के नाम पे आप उनको गुमराह कर रहे हो, उनका ब्रेन वॉश करके यहाँ पे भेज रहे हो, और फिर वो हम छोड़ते हैं, हम क्यों छोड़ेंगे उनको, हमें भी उनको एक्शन लेना पड़ता है। तो उनकी औकात नहीं है अभी इस तरह लड़ने की, आई वुड crudely I would say, because they don't have the see, ultimately war is fought with your financial resources.
Yes.
If Russia today is fighting a war, it has those resources. Their economy runs on oil और नेचुरल गैस जो वो बेचते हैं, उनको पैसा आता है तभी तो लड़ पा रहे हैं। आप बंद कर दो उनसे ऑयल और नेचुरल गैस लेना, वो 2 दिन में वॉर खत्म हो जाएगी। तो यहाँ पे अब सेम, पाकिस्तान डज नॉट हैव दोज रिसोर्सेज, so they are just trying to inflict here and there, थोड़े बहुत मिसगाइडेड यूथ को आप इधर कर दो। एंड बट इफ द इकोनॉमी ऑफ दैट प्लेस कश्मीर में अगर इम्प्रूव करने लग जाएगी, तो वो लोग खुद रियलाइज करेंगे, यार जो हमारे लीडर्स हैं इनके बच्चे तो जाके फॉरेन में पढ़ते हैं और हमारे बच्चे यहाँ लड़ रहे हैं और मर रहे हैं। तो वो अपने आप with generations this thing will go away, and I think that is very commendable on the part of our government which they did, and the way they did it is very commendable, and Pakistan and rest of the world was caught with surprise, but we have that metal now in global उसमें हमारा इतना अब है कि we हमने कर दिया, and no sanction, nothing. People from outside also came, UN वगैरह, they came, saw, and no adverse report. And बस अब we look forward to an integrated nation, and from
Yes.
Kashmir to Kanyakumari, and I hope that within our lifetime we are able to proudly say that there is no problem of terrorism or these. Ultimately, army is not supposed to be in those places. Army is always supposed to be training for war, and in situation of war, fight war. That's it. बट अभी हम काउंटर इंसर्जेंसी ऑपरेशंस भी कर रहे हैं, कश्मीर में कर रहे हैं, नॉर्थ ईस्ट में कर रहे हैं, बिकॉज देयर वर नो अल्टरनेटिव्स। पुलिस वगैरह के बस की बात नहीं है, वो उनकी ट्रेनिंग ही नहीं है ऐसी। तो दैट इज व्हाई आर्मी इज इन्वॉल्व, एंड देन वी हैव दिस पैरामिलिट्री, लाइक हमने राष्ट्रीय राइफल्स बनाया, असम राइफल्स बनाया, उसमें कौन है? हम ही तो जाते हैं आर्मी से डेपुटेशन पे, बस वो होम मिनिस्ट्री के अंडर आती है। तो all these things will, I think, will likely go away in future, मतलब distant future, but and let's hope peaceful रहे, वो भी सही रहे, अपनी कंट्री संभालो पहले, एक पाकिस्तान अपनी इकोनॉमी संभालो, उसके बाद सपने देखना। एंड अभी तो इमरान खान बस तारीफ कर रहे थे हमारी कंट्री की फॉरेन पॉलिसी की, एंड इफ यू हैव सीन दैट वीडियो, ही वाज सैल्यूटिंग आवर प्रेसिडेंट, प्राइम मिनिस्टर के, कि उनकी फॉरेन पॉलिसी इतनी स्ट्रांग है कि रशिया के ऊपर सैंक्शन भी लगा रहे हैं तो भी वो कर रहे हैं, इट इज इंडिपेंडेंट। तो दे आर ऑल्सो रियलाइजिंग कि भाई तुम कब तक किसी के भरोसे रहोगे। यूक्रेन वो इतना भरोसे पे था कि नहीं सब आएंगे मदद के लिए, कोई नहीं आया। खाली आर्म्स एम्युनिशन देने से जंग थोड़ी लड़ी जाती है, यू नीड मैन पावर, यू नीड बूट्स ऑन ग्राउंड टू फाइट अ वॉर। सो every country is realizing that you are on your own, and it's better you become atmanirbhar, and that is where we are going, right?
Yeah. So let's end the video here, because
Sure.
sir, it was such a pleasure to talk to you.
Same here, and I wish you all the very best. I have seen your podcast with others, and think you are going on very right track.
Thank you, sir.
Keep the momentum going, and do good work and spread knowledge and awareness. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
It was an honor.
Bye. Same here.